Hello there. I am Tommy One, the yogi, and I am here to have you join me in a very special May the 4th yoga class. We will be doing a primarily yin practice, physical practice. Yin, of course, is when the bones are supported, the muscles can relax, and so should have a lot of props. Feel free to get them involved. I have sort of an idea, but first, music. All right. Of course, we won't be leaving it that loud the entire time, but if anyone wants to do a little, do your best John Williams impersonation, right? We've got a little. And one, and two, and three, and four, and one, and two. So, welcome, my dear friends, as we enjoy. It is May 4th, 2025, and today we shall be having a lovely yin yoga practice followed by a nidra style meditation. To get ourselves started and into the frame of things. By the way, are those lights distracting with the flashing thing? Is that kind of fun? Alright, they're like going through all the different lightsaber colors. So think about what lightsaber you would have. Blue, of course, is for your Jedi Guardians, Warriors, very common of mine. Purple, like our friend Mace Windu, is actually a Jedi who can embrace, it's called Vapad, it's a type of a form of lightsabers fighting that involves using the dark side, so it makes them very good against Sith, which is why Mace Windu can nearly defeat Emperor Palpatine in Episode 3. But enough about, we're not going to talk about movies all day today. Let's get comfortable. If you would like to feel a little more like a Jedi, and for today's seated pose be in more of a hero's pose, you certainly may, but that could become uncomfortable, so feel free to just sit. I'm going to try this out for a minute. This reminds me of the part where Obi-Wan is meditating, waiting to fight with Darth Maul. And actually, I guess it's more Qui-Gon who does that bit. So anyway, find yourself some comfort. We will have the music of John Williams in the background. And so let us first just begin by connecting with our body and our breath. Feel a nice inhale through the nose, nice exhale out through the nose. You can put constriction into the back of the throat, and that will do two things. It'll give the breath noise, so that you can really hear and focus on it, that ocean-like sound. It'll also help you to feel a little more like Darth Vader, who was a pupil of mine until he turned to evil. Small machine than man now. Yes, connect with the breath, connect with the feeling of the earth beneath you. Imagine yourself being filled up with the light side of the Force, starting at the toes and working your way up. So we'll just do a quick scan right now because we'll be going much more deeply into this later. Coming up through the toes, the ankles, calves and shins, knees, thighs, hamstrings, quads, up into the hips. Noticing that red, just like Gavin 4, that red color of your root chakra, feeling that connection to nature, the earth, sense of stability, perhaps a balance of the Force, being rooted into the earth. Continuing to let that light fill you up, noticing your sacral chakra, which is a flow of water, creativity, pleasure, joy. Orange in color, much like the Mustafar system, though it is an element of water, much like Kamino. Coming up into Manipura, yellow, like the sun of a planet that's right here and not so far away. That sense of self, self-esteem, ego, connecting with that, knowing that you are just as important as everyone else, without feeling that you are more important than anyone else. Finding that seat of power. Noticing the sense of air, the winds, makes us think of the higher places of the mountains of Alderaan before its destruction, when millions of voices suddenly cried out and then were suddenly silent. Air, green color, the breath, maybe connecting with the plants that provide us the oxygen we breathe. Maybe you need to adjust if this becomes uncomfortable. Always feeling free to curl your toes under, feel anything different. Getting into this Jedi meditative pose, being comfortable, sinking into the earth. Noticing the rest of your body filling up with that light side, the Force, feeling the Force flow through you. The air as it comes in and out. Noticing your shoulders, your chest, your arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, fingertips. Perhaps you wave your hands as if someone doesn't need to see your identification. Whatever feels good, just articulating the fingers and feeling awake and alive. Noticing that sensation into the throat chakra, blue in color, just like my lightsaber. Using your voice, speaking your truth, finding your own path, being authentic. Notice into the jaw. Maybe you give yourself a little massage, moving your eyes up, down, left and right. Focusing in on the center of your forehead, the center of your brain, your third eye, opening it up. Opening up your Jedi insight, your intuition, your wisdom. Yes, it obeys your actions, but it partially controls them, but it also obeys your commands. So feeling that sense of the Force, that it communicates with you and that there's a give and take there. Trusting yourself, trusting your inner knowing, your inner knowledge. And finally noticing that connection to the Force through your crown chakra, purple in color. Like Mr. Windy's lightsaber, similar to the one to my side here. Oh, this one changed on me. Ooh, oops. Let's try that again. Thought I had a darker purple. There it is. Right. And so yes, so now we're nice and comfortable. We've gotten connected with our bodies. We're connected with our breath. Try to remain. Know that you can always come back to your breath, and you can always what we call the child's pose or Grogu's pose is always available to you if you should need it. All right, that will also be part of our practice. But let us start with the 6 starfighter movements. Okay, so as you might know, a starfighter as it flies in X-Wing, right? You can move in 6 different ways. We have roll, okay, side to side. We have pitch, and we have yaw. Okay, and that's what you would use for airplanes as well. So we're going to start actually with roll. So inhale to take your arms up overhead. And exhale, and you're going to roll through the center of your body over to your left side. Oh, Alex, I do tend to teach mirrored, so feel free to mirror me. And I will say, take your right hand across the body as your left arm goes down. And even though I'm moving my opposite ones, if that makes sense. Gaze may go up, meditating in, looking inward. We'll inhale and we'll come back up through center. We're just gently waking up the body, letting the spine move around. Exhale to roll to your right. Letting that right hand come down. Try to keep your sit bone sunk into the floor or wherever you are sitting. Noticing that ability to relax. Noticing the force of your breath flowing through you. Inhale, reach out with your feelings. Now we will yaw, which is a bit of a twist to your left. Left arm behind, right arm across the body, coming up nice and tall. This is the music, I think, from when they're in the asteroid field at Empire. So it's got a little bit of excitement in it. On every inhale, focus on getting taller, longer, letting the Force raise you up. And then on every exhale, maybe you deepen the twist a little bit more. You can always take your head in one direction or another. Any sensation you're feeling, you should meet and greet with breath. Inhale, and let's come back up through center, and let's exhale to yaw in the other direction. So pulling up hard to the left. Someone's on your 6 or on your 9 o'clock. So coming to 9, coming to face them. Staying nice and tall through the spine, as if the Force is just lifting your head straight up towards the sky, top of your cockpit. Imagine yourself in an X-Wing, a TIE Fighter, Y-Wing, E-Wing, whatever you're into. B-Wings are complicated. Inhale, coming back up through center. You may need to adjust your feet for this one, but we're going to come forward. I like to just lower my hands to the ground, like I am lowering something with my mind when I'm using the force. You can walk them forward. Allow yourself to fold. It makes more sense to take your legs out long. Pay attention to the sensations you're feeling. If you're feeling a slight discomfort, that's fine. If you're feeling pain and numbness, then you need to adjust. Listen to your body. The force speaks to you more directly than I can. So, though I can sense some of what's going on with you, my senses are not as attuned as your own inward. So listening to that force, maybe you even tuck your chin into your chest. When you're ready, inhale, allow the force to buoy you up as you come up long. Take your arms out behind you, and so now we're pulling up a little bit, okay, out of that dive, coming back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Maybe you can even lift your hips up off the ground if that's in your practice and if it's not too much for your wrists. Some of these opening postures will be familiar to those who take my classes regularly. This is just a good way, okay, to get your body moving, to waken up some breath. In yin, which I do tend to associate with the light side of the force, we are finding stillness. We are starting in 20-30% of sensation, and then we're allowing it to grow, build over time. So let us make our way into a Djarik tabletop pose. Djarik is the little chess game that R2-D2 plays with Chewbacca in the first movie. So you're going to get all kinds of fun Star Wars trivia facts today. If you aren't into that, well, thank you for still signing up for this class. Find yourself in that comfortable Djarik table, and we're going to do some Bantha Lothcats, okay? Bantha is much like a cow, okay, if you can imagine. So we're going to allow the belly to sink down as the head comes up, maybe even feeling that curve as the tailbone comes up and forward. And then as you exhale, you press into the hands and knees, tucking the chin into the chest, even as you arch your spine, like a scared Lothcat. And then you can flow here, you can spend some time in one, maybe you take your hips gently from side to side, waking up that spine, waking up that different sensation through the body. Try to make sure that your hands and wrists are directly below your shoulders. Try to make sure that your knees are directly below your hips. Nice solid tabletop, all at the edges, right? Take your index and middle fingers straight forward and widen out the rest, pressing into the fingertips to give the wrists a little bit of support. Do you guys like to do Chewbacca with a porg? It's not exactly yin, but it's kind of a fun one. So Chewbacca is, of course, a dog, and porgs are a bird. So Chewbacca with the porgs, which becomes friends in the later movie. Let's exhale, take your right leg straight back, lifting it up, and perhaps sending your opposite hand forward. We call this extended tabletop or Chewbacca with the porgs, bird dog. Right? If you want to really make this intense, you can exhale to bring the elbow and the knee together. Inhale, get long. Try to keep that back leg so that the foot is flexed and the toes are pointing towards the earth. And then let's exhale. Bring it all back down. Lower the hands. Lower the knee. Maybe you take some forward and backward motions, just giving yourself a little bit of relief. Letting your wrists move about. Find that stability once again. Exhale to take your left leg back. Possibly pulsing the foot a few times before you inhale. Lift up that heel, Chewbacca the porgs on the opposite side. Feeling free to engage here. This is probably the most difficult posture we're going to do today, if I'm not mistaken. So, did you say Ocus? And then when you're ready, come back. And we are going to find Grogu's pose, or the child's pose, okay? So, I like to bring my big toes to touch, widen out my knees, and sink down low, allowing them to fall in. You might want to take your other blankets or pillow or something and give a little rest for the support for the forehead. I like to sink lower, so I will not. I like my forehead right in the earth. Feeling that connection. This posture is always available to you. It's very restful. You'll still notice that there's some expansion. Every inhale, if you can, let the force fill you up and extend you out. Maybe your hands reach forward. Every exhale, release the force and let yourself sink into the earth, becoming one with that. Feeling a little breath. Now this is Vader's theme, so just for this song, I don't know, we'll see, I might just leave this off. But I will reveal to you that I have a little bit of the dark side in me. Come on up out of the child's pose when you're ready. Let's see here. And we are going to do a little bit more of a flow just to get ourselves started and get ourselves into some of my other favorite poses. So, if anyone's seen Return of the Jedi, one of my favorite scenes, possibly the earliest memory I have from my childhood, come on down low here onto your belly. One of my favorite scenes is when Luke jumps off of this sort of wooden beam thing. He flips around and then jumps up and catches his lightsaber, which is revealed to be green, that R2-D2 has. And the thing that he jumps off of is a plank. So feel free to inhale for just a few moments. I know you're like, I don't sign up for this. Into Phalakasana plank pose, building a little bit of heat here, try to engage your core, and then exhale, lower down to Chaturanga Dandasana. It's lowered staff pose. So I'm thinking of Chirrut, whatever, played by Donnie Yen, Rogue One. Inhale for upward facing Wookiee. Pull those shoulders back, allowing your bandolier to not get caught in your fur. And then exhale for downward facing Chewbacca. Pressing your hips up to the sky, pedaling out your feet or walking your Wookiee, if you will. I don't know if you know this, but Chewbacca was based off of Indiana, George Lucas's dog, who is a Malamute. All right. So from here, we're just going to look forward and walk our feet up towards the hands, coming into a forward fold. Uttanasana, or Utapauanasana, I like to call it. Utapau, of course, is the planet where I defeated General Grievous and basically effectively ended the Clone War. You're allowing your head to bend towards the earth. Okay, halfway lift. Ardha Utapauanasana. Okay. This is when I first started my fight. I had to chase Grievous down on this cool lizard creature thing. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, slowly roll up, coming into extended mountain pose, Utthita Tadasana. Exhale to lower the hands down, palms out to the sides. Some say that the force is like magic, and that's why we have a magic pose like this, and that's why we call it Tadasana. Lots of you, they've heard it already, it's not funny for them anymore. We're going to inhale up, and we're going to go into crescent, that's no moon pose. So drop your left arm down, right arm comes up and over. Feeling that? Yes. Inhale back through center. Exhale, dropping it down. On the other side. Inhale, come back. Exhale to cactus the arms out. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Lift your chin. Feel that beautiful force as it flows to the front part of your body as you extend your back. Inhale, take your arms out to the side as if you are force pushing stormtroopers on either side away from you, and bend forward. Obi-Wan Kenobi, dive towards the front part of your mat, bend into the knees, and we're going to step it back. You can just go straight to downward facing Chewbacca if you'd like. I need to take off my Mando socks. I'm sorry, that's just too difficult. So here we are. Downward facing Chewbacca, and we're going to find some really nice and gentle poses here, starting with Obi-Wan Kenobi, also known to many as pigeon pose, but swan is what we call it here. So lift up your left leg towards the sky for three-legged dog. You might even stack hip over hip and bend at the knee for scorpion tail. And then keeping your hands nice and solid, you're going to begin to slowly bring your left knee towards your left wrist. Gently lower down to this. Be very careful, Alex. I know this is probably a little newer for you. You may want to get a block and support it in under your hip on the front there. So grab one of those purple blocks and you can place it right down here if you want to, underneath your outer hip, your butt.
Oh, like this?
Yeah, yes. Because for you to go all the way down might be more intense than your hips are used to. You feel through it. We'll eventually come down nice and low. And they're resting Obi-Swan Kenobi pose. This is kind of like the time when I was on Tatooine for 15 years, just sort of keeping an eye on Luke. Not the most exciting point in my life. I became a butcher of some kind. Not really sure. You have to watch the Kenobi show again. It's very unclear what I was even doing at that point. So finding some relaxation, and we're going to spend a couple of minutes here. So again, you shouldn't have too intense of a sensation to begin with, because for some time it's going to happen. Feel free to bring in any of your props. You might want a pillow or a blanket for your head to rest on. You might want to bring some other props into account. I'm going to fix my shirt so that I look like a Jedi again. But you guys can just relax, and I'll keep an eye on some time here. So in our yin poses, once again, we say when the bones are supported, the muscles can relax. We have all these connective tissues and fascia, things called meridians, which comes from Chinese medicine, which is where a lot of the ideas of the Jedi came from, Eastern religions and cultures, which is why it goes so well with yoga, I think. Not just because one of my master's names was Yoda, which sounds an awful lot like yoga, but it's not the same. Okay, and I'm not going to do my Yoda voice during this class because that will just take everyone out of it entirely. So finding that relaxation here, allowing your body to just sink into the earth, recognizing the different sensations, meeting and greeting them. So try to bring your hips back a little bit. So you're really coming down, and you're coming down and back, right? So you shouldn't be folding too far. Here, bring your foot to the middle. As long as you feel okay, that's good. Just want to make sure you're not overdoing it. Pigeon can be pretty intense if you don't do it a lot, but it's a great way to release a lot of tension that we hold. And there you can see Lily's using her bolster to support her upper body as other Alex. This is a great idea. I would actually kind of recommend you try that out as well, because you'll just have, because I'm noticing you're really leaning deep down in your front part, and you want to be just more across, allowing that relaxation, even if the music isn't as quiet as as low as it can go, eh? Alright. I'm gonna have to adjust at the source then. Continue to allow your body to relax. There we go. So a little more calm. Now, if you are the type of practitioner who likes to do more of a mermaid type pose, we'll call that one a Kaminoan pose, I guess, because they live. You can always come up, bending at that knee. That may be very intense. Be careful. We're not pulling our foot forward, or you'll get something through the front part of the quad. Just now would be the time. Otherwise, we're going to begin working our way back up out of the posture. So I like to curl my back toes under and lower down so that I lift my entire upper body up and bring the foot with it, sending it back up high, moving it around perhaps. Come back into downward facing Chewbacca. Did you know that Chewbacca's almost 200 years old in film? Most dogs don't live that long. So, quite nice. There's a joke in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade where Sean Connery's character says, "We named the dog Indiana." And that is a direct reference to George Lucas's dog, who's an inspiration for Chewbacca, up to the blue eyes. Lift that right leg up. Maybe opening up through the hips and bending the knee. And then slowly, gently bring that knee in behind the wrist. Same side wrist, right? Knee behind the wrist. Should have about a 45-degree angle from knee to foot here. And then I will usually let my back leg come more towards center. Maybe taking, once again, the support out in front of you. Again, with these longer holding poses, we don't want quite as intense of a sensation to begin with, because it's going to build in time. It's in fact exactly what we say about yin. It does in time what we might do with heat and other factors. We're not building as much heat today. We're trying to find that contemplative mind. Yes, we're making Star Wars references and jokes. Even our meditation will take us into a story, a hero's journey, if you will. But we're also learning to relax. One of the things that yoga has taught me is how to relax. Now, most people who know me well are surprised to hear that I'm better at relaxing than I used to be. And yes, you can imagine I was quite a bit of a spaz before. But finding we don't always have to be relaxed. It's important that we know how. And I think our society in many ways does not encourage us to learn how to relax. It encourages us to not understand that rest is productive, even though the only way we get stronger is by healing afterwards, right? And by feeding our bodies, hydrating, etc. Connecting with that breath, releasing the body, relaxing it. If you'd like to add in a bit of the mermaid sensation, come forward. Trying to think, maybe they could call this Quarian's pose or Mon Calamari pose, because they live underwater, kind of like mermaids. They're not quite as pretty. I probably don't even know what Quarians are. They're like the weird squid-looking face guys. And then Mon Calamari is like Admiral Akbar. It's a trap. Yeah, that guy, right? So they're from the same world. They build really good ships, though. Makes sense. Space and water, similar in some ways. Yeah. Whenever you're ready, we can come out of this. You may need to remove your prop. Sending it back up. Maybe shaking that leg out or opening up. We're going to try something nice and gentle here. Well, not entirely nice and gentle. We're going to try a low lunge. So pick up that left leg. Bring it through, but let your back knee come down. And we call this Krayt Dragon's pose. You might want a blanket for underneath that knee, if that gets uncomfortable for you, or a little extra padding. So it's kind of a 90-90. I'm just going to move back and forth for a few seconds, just thinking about what it is to be a Krayt Dragon. Of course, they live in the sands of Tatooine, a place where I lived for some time, where I first encountered my apprentice, my Padawan, Anakin Skywalker, a little forward and back. You may notice it. Don't overdo it. Try not to take your knee. Are there Star Wars characters in your socks? What is that? Mushrooms? Oh, fun. Okay, that's lovely too. All right. Well, we know what he's on. Okay, just kidding. No, he's not on any drugs. We talked about this. So go ahead and